2.
Most space organizations government super heavy class, somewhere between heavy and super heavy.
Hotels in the area are completely sold out.
Yeah.
Parking lots are
It's like the first time something exciting has happened in rocket launch in a very long time.
Falcon Heavy is configured for flight.
T-minus 15, standby for terminal count.
SpaceX Falcon Heavy, go for launch.
10, 9,
All systems go.
3, side booster ignition.
6.
People can't leave Earth. Proof that the firm is real. The SpaceX crash was not because of their machine. Is the Earth covered by a dome? Was the explosion of SpaceX's rocket or Starship not because of damage to the system or machine? How are you all? Greetings and welcome back to our YouTube page. A lot of the time we talk about secrets and conspiracies. No matter how old or new it is, today we'll talk about Starship, Elon Musk's big project at SpaceX. We will talk about the crash, not the ship itself though. You already know how driven Elon is, right? As we all know, Elon Musk started SpaceX to make space travel better by building spaceships. SpaceX has flown their biggest and strongest rocket, the Starship.
More on that. SpaceX launched its massive Starship rocket this morning, but as I say, it lost contact after just 8 minutes. The top of the rocket did successfully separate from the booster, which was pretty exciting, but contact was lost then with the main rocket. Elon Musk's company still hailed it as a success. The rocket flew further than the failed first attempt in April, so some progress.
For the first time, surprisingly though, they both failed. Why? Like Elon said, the crash was their machine's fault. A lot of people talk about how the spaceship blew up during the second flight test. This rocket clearly went off, but something doesn't seem right, does it? That was the blast. Many comments on the YouTube video of Starship's crash that the Forbes Breaking News posted say, Firmament. Just what is Firmament? How come these people are talking about that? And what does this have to do with the spaceship crashing? SpaceX sent the rocket into space and tested it there. Nevertheless, as I already said, they failed in both. They failed the first flight test on April 20th, 2023 because the Starship, which is their upper part, did not split from the super heavy bottom part. So that's why they both blew up. Because of this failure, they had to do a second flight test on November 18th, 2017. However, the same failure took place when Starship and Super Heavy broke apart this time. They both burst before they could reach their goal height. According to NASA, the rocket is made up of different parts that need to be split in order to get where they need to go. When the gas runs out, they split up, and the parts that need to keep going will. From this perspective, the Starship separation should be considered a success, correct? However, why could a rocket as high-tech as a spaceship blow up? It has undergone thorough checks and has been made as high-tech as possible. Proceed to the story. The second flight test is marked by a peculiar explosion. Here is a shot of the Starship that crashed. Doesn't it look like an explosion in the water? Within the air, there was neither fire nor a regular explosion. As you know, throwing stones into water will make waves or spread the stones around. You find it in a rocket crash though, so it must be in the air and not the water. For example, if Starship had a very modern machine, their boss would make sure they used it. Then why did they crash? Let's recall it for a short time. We talked about this at the start of the video. Of course, the firmament. Many people believe the firmament idea is connected to it. Indeed, they said that the Starship explosion happened because it hit a solid object. What do you think, though? The Starship was almost a success. Additionally, I am sure that SpaceX fixed their machine after the first test failed. It's why that matters.
That we've become a space prank civilization and be out there among the stars. And we want the things that are in science fiction novels and movies not to be science fiction forever. We want them to be real one day.
It seems a little strange, doesn't it? after we've talked about the spaceship crash, we should talk about what caused it. The firmament is an idea associated with the flat Earth theory, but we're not going to talk about the Earth being flat. So what happened in the firmament? It's impossible to talk about the firmament without also talking about the flat Earth theory. This theory is pretty old. It's possible that you, a friend or someone else, believe this idea. Flat Earthers hold various beliefs about the composition of the Earth. Within this flat area, we can see many things that we normally see, like forests, mountains, land, and the sea. Flat Earthers argue that the Earth resembles a spread-out blanket despite our knowledge of its round shape. This picture shows that the Earth has a dome over it. Beyond the dome is a thick layer. According to Flat Earthers, the sea connects parts of the Earth with water. They call the dome firmament. Furthermore, this is what you saw in the SpaceX crash. In light of their case, we already knew about this version of the Bible. These words appear in Genesis 1:6-8. Then God said, "Let there be a rock in the middle of the water, and let it separate the water from the water." In this way, God made the firmament and separated the waters below it from the waters above it. He then called the sky heaven. So the morning and evening, that's why the word firmament in the Bible comes from Hebrew, where it means rakia. Basically, rakia means visible arch in the sky in English. This is relevant to our current discussion. According to this Bible translation, God put up a firmament to split the sky from the earth. There is water above the firmament, though. The firmament's job is to split the water above the earth from the water below it, which is the sea. The water above and below the earth are connected within this image. You can see from the picture that the sky has ends, which are the Earth's edges. From these edges, the sky covers the Earth and has its base. If the firmament lines the Earth and separates the sea above and below it, what will happen if people try to cross it? We don't know what goes on above the thick cloud cover. However, if we look at the current situation, there are some things that don't make sense about the firmament. Today, let's talk about modern Sains. Today, we know that there are different types of air above us. I guess the troposphere is part of the sky after all. Conditions for weather happen here, about 2 kilometers above the ground. The troposphere is below the atmosphere, which is about 50 degrees cold. This place's water would all freeze solid. The atmosphere is still very thick, though. Do you want to know what it would be like up there, near or above? If water were only this far away, would it freeze? Let's think about it. What would the water above the Earth look like if there was real water? Does the cold cause the water to freeze? Or is it just real water that we can all see on the ground? Many people think that this rocket crashed into the ground, so the first chance is that it will explode. A blast that doesn't make any waves. But if the second option comes true, we can say that SpaceX really did crash into solid ground or water. Wow, it seems like it's getting hard. Just now, what do you think about what happened above us? Does the water look like it might freeze? That is, it's just water? Do you think it's impossible if it's just water? The question now is whether or not people can leave Earth if the firmament is real. There is no way to know for sure. NASA started its mission to go to the moon and kept track of it. A lot of people are wondering where the moon is or if they just made it to Earth. Because of what the firmament said and SpaceX's failure, a lot of people no longer believe in NASA. The proof they made and shared with the public changed their minds. Although Starship has modern technology, they still can't leave from Earth. But what about NASA? They went to the moon with technology that wasn't as advanced as it is now. Yeah, we won't know because our eyes are closed. However, people have many different representatives based on what they believe. A group of people or an organization still exists outside of space that can talk to each other directly and share advanced information. What do you believe? Can you believe that the idea we talked about before is real?